Yeah, that's a fairly short answer for you. Next question comes from Matrix, which has comma definition of awesome. I don't know if that's all one word, but there you go. Who asks, how is the NPC population expected to function within the PU? Will all the NPCs, 90% of PU population, which I think what that's referring to is the fact that I commonly say that of the overall population of the persistent universe, it will be about 10% players and about 90% NPCs. Exist within the universe constantly with their movements and actions tracked in a limited fashion? Will they be randomly generated as players enter instances, zones? How will this calculate into the economy and mission system? We actually have a full universe simulation that runs on, we actually don't need it to run on like any particular bank of servers. It just actually really runs on one server. And it simulates about 20 million AI agents. And it simulates the AI agents in a very sort of high-level manner. It's like, okay, you've got a mission, you're going to go from here to here. So it's not simulating it on the fidelity level that you would do when you're actually connected to the game and flying around and doing combat maneuvers or flying from point to point. It's sort of simulating it more in the, here's the jobs, here's the missions, here's the market demand, here's the things that are happening. Okay, yeah, you've taken a mission to take these goods from planet A to planet B. All right, so you've now taken that job off the market. Now you're going to go from planet A to planet B. So that's really just sort of a kind of a line trace. That trip's going to take, whatever it would be, a day of game time. And then along the way, there's a chance that you could fight or run into some pirates. And if they do, we will resolve that combat. If you're not there, kind of more like a dice roll. But if you are there or in the area and this all gets sort of created or spawned in where you are, you will see the result. The actual combat will then end up getting spawned in, and then you'll see it play out, and the results of it will be fed back to the universe sort of server simulation. So the universe simulation keeps track of all the NPCs. It's the one that's dealing with the goods and the markets, the economy nodes. So on various planets, there'll be things that produce, things that consume. So there's sort of a very sort of high-level meta AI that's running on the economy simulation. And from that high-level simulation, we can track the sort of movement, the populations, the progress of AI in a sort of much higher level abstracted way. And of course, since that doesn't need to be real time like you flying around, we can time slice it, which is why we can simulate so many agents. So we're not having to do 20 million agents at 30 frames a second at all. So you can update every single agent maybe every 5 minutes or every 10 minutes, and that's how you can manage so many of them, because in the time scale that the universe simulation happens, it doesn't need to be the same sort of fidelity that we do on the game server, that's the one where you, like in Arena Commander now, if you connect and you dogfight with someone, the game server is what's sort of running you and the other clients running, and it's worrying about simulating where the bullets are and all the ins and outs of the high fidelity of the flight and the combat. So essentially, the NPC population is mostly simulated. I think that on some level we don't necessarily simulate every individual person on the planet. So like a planet would say, okay, here's your general population, and that general population, when missions have to happen, could spawn a certain number of bounty hunters or a certain number of traders or haulers or cargo folks, and then they will take their missions in then that particular ship. So we sort of simulate the ships and the missions that are happening on an individual basis, and then when you're on the planet, then there'll be a sort of setup of here's the population going up and down. Is it things going well on the planet? Then if so, more people are arriving there, population's getting bigger, it's expanding. Things aren't doing so well, it would be the converse one. But it's a pretty decent high-level simulation, and then that information is then fed to the system servers and the game servers, and that sort of will help determine when you're flying around whether or not you will encounter NPCs or not, and whether or not those NPCs are fighting each other in conflict and what's happening. So one of the cool things is we'll have a living, breathing world happening irrelevant of how many actual players are playing. So there could be only one person playing in the Star Citizen universe. I mean, I hope to God not. But if there was, there would still be a living, breathing universe, people going about their daily lives, trading, being pirates, being bounty hunters, being miners, all of that sort of stuff. So I think when that all sort of comes online and comes together, I think it'll be very cool. I mean, we currently have the universe simulation happening on its server, and we have an interface where there's the communication of kind of what you would, this is the kind of thing you would see if you're in this area, and that's all in progress. So yeah, I think it'll work quite well. So all right.